All right, welcome everybody to our latest Live Motocross podcast as we talk all things Salt Lake City from what was an epic finale of the 2025 AMA Supercross season. Firstly, thank you everyone for listening and supporting the site. We really appreciate it. We'd also like to thank our sponsors in Fly Racing, Firepower Batteries, Dirt Store, and Fuchs Silkaline for all their incredible support, as without them, none of this would be possible. All right, for this episode, I'm joined again by the great man, Whiskey Throttle Editor at Large, Jeff Beaver. How's life? And thanks for joining us after an epic final round of the season, mate. Busy one for you, no doubt, pumping out the content. It was epic for sure, mate.
Yeah, man. I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but man, I'm glad Supercross is over, dude. That was a grind, and I didn't do all. I don't. Those guys who do all 17 rounds, freaking gnarly. I think I did 11 or 12, and I would have done all 17 if I wasn't working. But yeah, it was pretty intense, and got to thank the guys at Feld for having us out again, and we absolutely crushed it. We more than doubled our follow count, or I mean our views count for the year on Instagram, which is big for us, and added 37,000 followers. So I'd like to think that you guys over there in England and Australia helped with that a lot. So thank you. And it was rad. I think I honed my craft a little bit better this year. I consider myself a sophomore in the game, right? I'm not a rookie, but I'm still pretty wet behind the ears learning. But it was definitely fun to be a part of, especially with like Seth and with Hayden and all those guys, to kind of see what they're doing. I'm getting more known as a familiar face around there. People don't see me and run away. you know, some people still see me and run away, but in the club guys, man. I mean, I got to give a special shout out to Club, to Ty, and the team manager over there, Mike B. Those guys, shit. I come over there and hey, get breakfast, and except Salt Lake, they didn't have breakfast at Salt Lake, so yeah, they did me dirty that day. I'm like, oh, club will have breakfast. I get there was no food. I'm all shit, but dude, just made me feel like family over there. The riders, everybody. So it was really really good. But I'm ready to take it outdoors, man. I want some fun stuff outdoors. It'd be good.
Yeah, mate, the numbers were absolutely phenomenal throughout the season. You were producing, mate, with the view counts, like counts, followers. So, no, it's been another quality season for Whiskey Throttle in the books. I don't think any other outlet's getting as many views and interactions and engagement as you are, they?
I haven't looked at what they're doing, but I would like to think, fuck no.
No, keep it up, mate. Outdoors is going to be good, and obviously we'll touch on that a little bit later in the podcast. But I suppose let's get into it. I guess that 250 ending was pretty crazy, wasn't it, mate? Obviously there was carnage there. VIL ended up getting the job done after RJ took out Seth. There was the issues with Juju. There was so much going on in that race, and you got to feel bad for Seth, don't you? After essentially had it in the bag, really, he just caught up in so much drama there, and I guess he must be a pretty frustrated figure looking back and reflecting on that and what could have been, mate. So I guess you being there in person on the track, filming it, how's it all from your perspective?
Well, I mean, it was an emotional roller coaster, dude. Like at first I'm like, oh man, Tom's walking away with this, and hey, good for him. If he wins it, he wins it. And I was like, damn it, man, come on, Seth. I'm not gonna lie, I am a big fan of Seth and a big fan of RJ. I don't know Tom, but Tom's a real nice guy. In fact, I ended up walking down the tunnel with him for about 5 minutes to get him to the press conference because he was in the wrong area, and actually had my first one-on-one conversation. And he's a great guy. He really is. And I think a lot of people in America probably don't give him a fair shake because he's a good kid. He's really, really nice. So, he could cool guy the shit out of me. He didn't. He just talked to me like I was, one of the guys, so that's how I kind of judge people, as how they treat me, right? And I've never seen anything bad from the guy. He's just kind of middle of the road. You're not going to get excited, Tom. You're not going to get upset, Tom. You're just going to get Tom.
Hmm.
But so from the racing standpoint, I'm like, oh shit, man, this guy's got Seth covered. And then Seth started coming. I'm like, holy shit, there you go. And then all the stuff started going down, and then RJ coming. And I'm like, holy shit, RJ's going to do it. And then RJ just nuked everything, and I'm like, holy shit, Tom's going to do it. This is freaking insane. It's just it was. I felt really bad for Seth. I'm not going to get into the whole team tactics thing and the debate about that. We put a poll up, and there's some people who are probably not too thrilled with us. But hey, when our message boards are full of thousands of comments on it, okay, we're going to put up a poll, and the poll showed 69% of the viewers felt that there was tactics. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't give a shit. I mean, if I had three riders out there going against somebody, I'd be like, do whatever you got to do, but stop that son of a bitch. That's what I would do. So I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent, but I just felt bad because, damn, dude, Seth just it was like it felt like a 4-on-1 brawl out there, or 3-on-1 brawl. He was fighting three people at the same time, and he stood his own. If it was a street fight, he was fighting three people. Even though he didn't win, he won. So that's the way I kind of look about it. But I mean, congratulations to Tom. He's a 2 times champion. He figured a way out. It is what it is. RJ, I think he put out a good apology, and I think I've spent enough time around RJ, and our guy Bruce is best friends with him, and RJ's a stand-up dude. I just don't see him doing that because somebody told him to. I don't think RJ would do that kind of shit. So I'll say that. I just think RJ did RJ shit. RJ wanted to freaking win, and he was willing to do whatever, and he did. So hey, it is what it is, and the dust is settled. But yeah, it was gnarly, and then it was cool to see after the 450 race to see Coupe come up to chase, and those guys have a ton of respect for each other. I thought that was pretty sick.
Yeah, there was so much to take away from that night. You summed it up well there, mate. And I guess with Vial, he's now won two MX2 titles in Europe in the MXGP series. Now he's won two regional Supercross championships. You got to give the man the credit, don't you, mate? He's got there. He's consistent. He makes the rounds. He stays healthy. Kind of a little bit reminiscent of J Coupe, how he's just solid, rides smart, gets through the rounds like a perfect teammate, a perfect signing for any team, really. And you can't really, knock him if for anything. Obviously, he wants to work on refining the Supercross skills, which he's done really well. He was, holding the pace. You look at that win a couple of weeks ago, absolutely phenomenal. And, he's going 450 now, Supercross for next year. So that's another key story to follow, isn't it, mate? So you got to give him the respect because a lot of the fans don't seem to pay him his dues, do they?
No, and for me, I think Jay Coop was kind of the unsung badass of Supercross this year. That guy, he just, man, he's almost there, and I wouldn't be surprised if next year he just figures it out. Well, I think once he figures out blitz and whoops, and he
Mm.
can knock off, shave off those tenths of seconds per lap, I think he's going to be a big problem for everybody, dude. He's very smart, and look at how he was racing at the end of the year, dude. He was just going, dude, and in Malcolm too, dude. I mean, Malcolm was getting it in Salt Lake. So there's a couple guys, and AP as well. Look at AP starts, dude. You can almost, put a stamp on it that he's probably going to pull a whole shot. And so I think next year you're going to see Coop and Malcolm and AP really step their game up. And then, we've got the old guard, Jet's going to be back, and, Coop's still going to be a dog. So it's going to be interesting what happens next year for real. But there was a lot of cool things to see this year. A lot of things sucked with the injuries, with Hunter and Jet being out. That really sucked. But what do you do?
Yeah, mate, it's a brutal sport, that's for sure. And just lastly on the 250s, your take on Deegan's ride. Obviously, another epic performance to cap off his quality title winning season. Pretty commanding performance there, mate, against the best of the best in the class, essentially. So, a lot of respect to him for what's been a top season. And I guess we didn't get to speak last week just with scheduling and all that. But yeah, just your take on the Deegan comments from last week after he wrapped up the title. Obviously, made that move on Cole, which was in isolation, nothing really wrong with it. But he's certainly bringing the headlines, isn't he, mate? Great season for Deegan, and bring it outdoors. It'll be box office too.
Yeah, he did. I have no problem saying I'm a big fan of the kid. I'm here for the stir in the pot. It's good for the sport. It's good for everything. I don't care what anybody says, dude. We're not fucking baking cakes and playing badminton over here. We're racing moto, dude. This isn't a sport for a bunch of sissy ass pussies, dude. And so I like that Deegan just gets in there, doesn't give two shits what anybody thinks of him, And I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm not anywhere like Deegan, as far as a motocross rider would never say to be. But when the mentality is, I'm going to be mean. If you don't like it, you can kiss my ass. And so when I see somebody like that, cool, and he backs it up. Uh, Hindsight being 2020 after this weekend, it's like, and y'all were mad at me about my pass. Okay, all right, yeah. Sure. His shit was, G rated compared to RJ. RJ's was a porno flick, and yeah, it was rad. And then to put the stamp on the season, and I had to stir the pot a little bit. I said, "Hey, what's it like to be the fastest 250 rider in the world?" And that was a that was a little dig at DeWolf. Get him fired up, get DeWolf over here. Not thinking that he gives two shits what I say, but people are thinking it, dude. You know, get over here, race Supercross, show that you're the fastest in the world. Let's go. I'm in MX to Nations, don't know what's going to happen, it'd be, I think you're kind of a 50-50 how those two dudes will do at the Nations this year. It could go either way. He's a world class fighter in MXGP, but he's coming over to a track that Hayden knows pretty well now. So there's advantages both sides. And but I would love to see him give a crack at Supercross so we could really, you know, have him come over here next year and race Supercross. Let's see who is the best in the world. Because my argument is those guys race motocross. That's it. And if you're really going to call yourself the best in the world, you got to be a champion at Supercross too.
Yeah,
Sorry.
well said, mate.
Yep.
Yeah, and you look at
And and
Vial,
and,
he's
and,
come and
and
done
with
it.
that, hold on. With that being said, though, I think that's going to change because look at what World Supercross is doing. Obviously, they got their shit together last year, and looking at that schedule, they're really going to have their shit together this year, and they are going to start building European Supercross riders. And now that there's a place for them to go, you're going to have kids in Europe training Supercross like they do in America. So I think within probably 10 years, you're going to see a big paradigm shift on who the best in the world is all around. It's not just going to be a given that the Supercross guys in America are going to be the best. Europe could definitely produce some of the best guys. Imagine if Praoo would have grown up riding Supercross or Hurlings.
Oh, yeah, it would
You
have
know
been
what I mean?
amazing.
So there's a big shift. But yeah, so I had to stir the little pot a little bit. There's a lot of comments in there, and some butthurt little sallies in my comments, but I just did it to just have a little fun and stir the pot. That's how I roll.
It's
We
all
don't shy
about.
away from controversy at Whiskey Throttle from time to time.
No, mate, it's what gets the engagement and you sort of brings more spotlight on the sport and, gets the fans active, doesn't it, mate? So it's really cool to see. And, you look at what Vial's done just in the last couple of years, mate. He's shown that it can be done. The pathways are pretty firmly forged over the last, many, many years, decades, really, with all the different French guys doing their thing. Obviously, the South Africans have flexed their muscles. Now you got Spanish like Prado coming over. So it's pretty cool. The Aussies doing their thing for years and years, mate. So the more the
Yeah, the
better, the
Aussies and the
international
French have
flavour.
got it. The Aussies and the French are the only ones to come over here and show us what's up.
Yeah, and the South Africans a bit too, eh?
Nah, not no, but which one of them has won a 450 Supercross championship?
Yeah,
GL and those guys did, won national titles. Greg won a national title outdoors, and GL was a badass in regional Supercross, but they never knocked down the big dog, the 450 Supercross championship. They never knocked that one down. So right now, to me, it's French and Australian. You
yeah,
know,
a few Kiwis coming through, and obviously in the past there's been some excellent ones too. So it's really, there's so many nationalities in there now that can all, bring in the spotlight to their sport in their respective countries. So long may it continue, mate. And give us your take on the 450s. Obviously, Cooper Webb, three-time Supercross champion, deserving of
definitely.
it for sure, isn't he, mate? Just keeps grinding. He's so determined and he's got that desire and the fuel to just keep winning. He knows he might not be the most talented, but he's got the mentality game. The speed's even been massively elevated this year, you feel, but just the way he handles the adversity and the pressure. And you could see what it meant to him when he was tearing up at the end there, just, recapping the race and the season, mate. It's a impressive achievement. And, he suffered that injury beforehand, which was detailed a little bit further on the weekend. So just give us your talk, mate. Complete package, complete season. Deserved it for sure.
Coop did it, dude. He's in rare air, dude. If he wins that fourth one, really rare. He's up there with Dungy and Villapoto and McGrath and Carmichael. you have to stamp him as the fifth best of all time, and even only Tomac's only got two, he would have been third. He would have had the third one, but when Tomac went out, if he hadn't if Webb hadn't crashed and AC used him as a wheel chalk, I forget what round that was, but I think he would have won that title too. I think he would have bested Chase in 23. So maybe Coupe takes 26 to dad bought it up, and then odd years are good for Coupe. He almost did it in 23, did it in 19 and 21, almost did it in 23, did it in 25. So kind of like the San Francisco Giants a decade ago. The every other year worked out well for him.
No, mate, yeah, you can't knock it, eh? It's just so impressive. And, he's obviously upped his whoops game, is skimming them way better to complement the jumps. And, he's got that cornering master he cuts down. He's got the racecraft. He's got the tactics. He's even got some pretty impressive starts going on. He came up big on the weekend when he needed it. But I guess, yeah, you could see how much that burden is. A lot of sleepless nights just in between weeks with that small points lead. And, Chase had come back and he won four of the last five, Chase. So very impressive for him too. And I think Coop's worst finish was eighth at A2. So, really impressive. Is still battling that injury to get through it and beat Sexton, who was on rails. And I guess for Sexton, he'll just, lament those mistakes that cost him the points in the end, didn't it, mate? So great season for him. His riding was absolutely superb and, probably the fastest guy out there for sure. But just, you got to get through 17 rounds and keep banking those points and consistently doing so. And Webb did that. So tough for Chase to take though as well, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, Chase is wishing he had Dallas back. If he
Mm,
would have taken the overall, he would have beat Coupe by a point.
yeah.
Yeah, a point or two. So, yeah, I bet he wishes he has that back. But it was a good learning lesson for you. But if Jetson comes back and stays healthy, man, I think it's gonna be hard for anybody to beat that guy.
Yeah, he's going to be on rails for sure. But yeah, that
He's a
Chase will be the
freak.
man.
He's a freak, and he's freaking pissed off that he didn't get to go.
Yeah,
You know
be
that that pissed him off that he got sidelined for a stupid foot dab of all things. It wasn't even a highlight reel like Hangtown, dude. It was just dabbed his foot and blew his knee. I mean, that pissed him off something bad. So now he's coming to our golf tournament the day after Paula, so it'll be fun to see him and spend a little time with him and see what he has to say. But in light of all of his management changes and stuff, it almost seems like the stuff you do see from him, even there hasn't been very much. It seems like he's kind of back to old Jetson, just having a good time and doesn't have somebody who's a complete douchebag, around him at all times, ruining the party, So hopefully we get free riding, fun loving Jetson back, that wants to engage the media and stuff like that. Because having that guy out sucks.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Tell us a little bit more about that golf day you've got running. Obviously, host of heavy hitters will be going there. Yeah, just what are the details, mate? You're raising money, getting donations, all that kind of stuff. So just give us a rundown quickly.
Yeah, so it's the Road to Recovery Whiskey Throttle Ryder Cup, and it's our fifth year here. And then also we are doing one here. Let me pull up the info. We're doing one in England with Road to Recovery. Um, uh, Jamie Dobbs' daughter's kind of working things over there and is kind of the head of things. But we are doing I can't remember the day. Now figures I can't find it now. Oh, here it is. It looks like September 30th in the Morley Hayes Golf Course in Derbyshire, UK, is going to be the Whiskey Throttle Ryder Cup for across the pond over there. So if you guys like playing golf and you want to get involved helping riders on your side of the pond, it's going to be on September 30th at the Morley Hayes Golf Course. So it's just great to be involved with Road to Recovery and being able to help the guys out. And the one we're doing over here the day after Paula, we're going to donate some money directly to Jerry Robin from that. So buttoning those guys do a great job. And of course, we got the Dobbs over in England doing their thing, and we have a great relationship with everybody on both sides of the pond. So it just makes sense to carry it over to the other side of the pond, and it raises a lot of money, and it's a good freaking time. And I'm imagining we'll get a little competition from our British friends over there to see who can drink more and play golf. And I mean, y'all invented the sport, and y'all can drink like a son of a bitch. So we may have our work cut out for us, but we're gonna give it hell.
Yeah, mate, looking at that Code Red podcast, it looks like you'll be pretty dialed.
Yeah, Ping's not going to be able to get down too hard because he's got to leave for Italy. We're going over to test the Ducati, and he's got to go over there and test that thing. So it's going to be left up to me. So as soon as he leaves, the cat's away, the mice will play. We're gonna get loose. It's gonna be pretty fun. Probably gonna have to have somebody drive my car home after the golf tournament, or just leave the son of a bitch there. I don't care, but we're gonna have a good time.
Oh, mate, it's going to be epic for sure, mate. Yeah, so all the fans, check that out. Follow Whiskey Throttle. Go check out all the details for that and get involved. It should be a hell of a time, mate. Back to the racing. Give us your take on Justin Cooper, third in the series. Another well-deserved, excellent, consistent season for him. Many podiums. The win wasn't far off. Maybe if we had 20 rounds, he might have got one. But yeah, really great all-round performance. Had incredible speed there the last few rounds especially. And another really great season of Supercross 450 building, gaining that momentum, getting his confidence. He's pretty much as good as anyone around the track. Just those whoops, if he can get them skimming, he'll be right. But yeah, very impressive season by him, mate. Your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of already went over it, but I think he's right there when he figures out the whoops. I think he's going to be dangerous, dude. I think he's gonna hurt a lot of the feelings in 2026. And outdoors, I can't wait to see what that guy does outdoors because I think naturally he's just a better outdoor rider.
Hmm.
So I'm not making any predictions on who's doing what, but I think everybody's going to come in there thinking they're a son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, it's going to be so good. And we'll chat a bit of outdoors now, mate. Obviously, you've been, at the local tracks, checking out some of these guys, laying down some laps and some heaters, mate. Obviously, Prado is the big name coming back. Obviously, be really good. He's reigning MXGP world champion. The expectations are high. Obviously, coming back from that injury, though, might have to temper them a little bit, but he'll want moto wins. He'll want overall wins. He'll want podiums. A lot to take on, I guess, with the tracks and the environments and the schedule being different soil, these kind of things. But you see him lining up against said Jet, Hunter, Tomac, Sexton, AP, J Coupe. Brandis is out, which is a bit of a bummer with that injury. But yeah, there's lots of experience to be gained, and he'll instantly look to put a flex on those guys. You've seen him riding recently, mate. So Prado, excitement's pretty high, isn't it?
Yeah, he outdoors. He hasn't skipped a beat. The only thing I'm bummed about, Paula, is they took that big triple step out. They demoed it out and made a bunch of switchback turns. I was like, you guys knocked down one of the most iconic jumps in moto and the best jump to get shots off of at Paula. You took that out, you sons of bitches. I was bummed about that, dude. I mean, watching all the 450 guys just hanging out over that D and doing stupid shit over that. I mean, he just gets gnarly over that jump. So it's like, damn it, why'd you do that? But I guess they had their reasons. So who knows? I haven't been out there. Maybe they'll build something up pretty good or make those jumps coming into that section bigger. But yeah, I don't know. It's just going to be fantastic. But yeah, back to your point. I think Coupe's he's gonna tear shit up, and so will Prado.
Yeah, it's going to be so good, mate. Can't wait. And obviously, do you have a particular favorite? Obviously, Jet Lawrence coming back will be really interesting. Tomac will be on it. Sexton's already got into that testing outdoors and was saying he was very comfortable. AP's always good, and he was having some really good starts, both indoors and outdoors. So look forward to seeing him go. He loves it. The fans love him. It should be pretty packed, mate. So the whole event should be good. Do you have a edge you're giving anyone at this point?
I think you got to kind of lean it in Sexton's court right now. He was more comfortable on that KTM outdoors. He's preached that, and he's just riding on rails right now. And he's got 17 straight gate drops under his belt. And Jet's been out since Phoenix? Yeah, he's been out since Phoenix. So Jet's coming in cold, and Chase is coming in red hot. So I
No,
don't
it's
think
going to
it'll
be
take
great.
long for it to catch up. I mean, but I wouldn't put it beyond Jetson to go 1-1 at Paula either. He's never lost there. So
It's going to be such a good event. And obviously, with the 250s, mate, you'll be looking at Deegan will be.
I just got it. I just got it. There's a conspiracy. They took the triple step up out because Jet's knee's going to be so fresh. There's the newest conspiracy for 25. Paula takes out triple step up to aid Jetson in his return. No, I could see the vital board right now. Just No, I'm kidding. I don't think that, you paste eating fox. But yeah, I don't know. Sorry to interrupt you. Just I had a stupid epiphany.
No, mate, throw it in there, mate. It's always good for a bit of banter. And yeah, the 250 class Deegan heads in as massive favourite. Obviously, Davies is out with that injury for probably quite a few weeks, so that's really sad to see. But yeah, you got Hammaker who'll be firing on all cylinders, ready to go after what happened in Supercross. Vial, a lead outdoor rider, Shimoda, Kitchen, Smith, Anstey, Shock, Mosman, Volan. How good's this class going to be, mate? Faulkner. The names are just everywhere. So I guess it's going to be all eyes on who can beat Deegan, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be ridiculous. I think it's going to be absolutely ridiculous on who can beat Deegan. But you gotta put Deegan in as the odds-on favorite in the 250 class.
Yeah, you can't really see anyone beating him, but you never know, mate. Like guys like Hymus, they're just so
Yeah.
outdoors.
Look at Seth's riding, and Seth can ride outdoors good, and that boy is going to come in with a chip on his shoulder. You know,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he went for it. But Vial's going to be good outdoors. Hymus is going to be good outdoors. You know, but I just think Deegan's on another level than everybody right now.
yeah, it's hard to see him giving up that one, especially on that track to start things off, mate. And I guess as we wrap this one up, what are your sort of final reflections on the season? What's the week ahead look like for you, mate? You going out filming any testing or anything like that? You got some pretty cool stuff happening at Whiskey Throttle for sure with the YouTube videos, bike tests, podcast. It's all happening, mate. So give us a rundown, just a few reflections on the season and what's coming up next.
We're going out to film two bikes that Jay Clark built for us tomorrow. Thursday, we're going to do our Triumph 450 bike shoot. We were going to do our live show on Saturday, but something just came up this morning, so we had to postpone it till the fall, which sucks. But I think after Thursday, Whiskey Throttle is going to go zero dark 30 until press day at Paula. I'm looking for a break.
Hmm.
If Ethan wants to put some up, cool, but I don't give two shits to open the Instagram app after Thursday. I I just kind of want to take a little break, and because otherwise you go in burned out. You know what I mean?
You want to come
And
in
it, it
fresh?
it doesn't take me long to get fired back up for moto. Hell, I'm probably lying. I'll probably be out this weekend at that stopwatch national at Glen Helen, but you need a little break, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah, well said, mate. It's been an epic season. You've crushed the content. And yeah, thanks again for joining these podcasts throughout Supercross. We'll dial them up again for outdoors, mate. So all the best for the rest of the week. Massive shout out to the fans for supporting these. Really appreciate it. Big shout out to the sponsors too, Fly Racing, Firepower, Dirt Store, and Fuchs Silkaleen for all their support. As without them, this wouldn't be possible. So that's been the last Supercross Whiskey Throttle podcast collab with Live Motocross for the season. So cheers again, mate. All the best, and we'll speak in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks for having me on.
No worries, mate. Have a good one.